It is Sunday, September 5th, 2021. What is it, like 4:36 p.m. I just saw? Anyways, this is my nightly summary of the day from yesterday because I didn't do it, and I just want to get it done. I'm just listening to a podcast right now on my jog about aging and what we can do to prevent it, and James Altucher was saying, you're 53, no, I'm 53 and you're 49. He's talking to Sergey Young, the longevity expert, and you probably have trouble remembering what you did that day at the end of the day, and when I was a kid, I didn't have that trouble. I can still remember what I did all day when I was a kid, so that's scary. But anyways, there'll be good more treatments in the next 5, 10, 20 years, so we just have to stay healthy in the meantime. Anyways, and he says sleep is important. Getting good sleep will reduce your chance of getting Alzheimer's by 40%. So that brings us to last night. I did not get great sleep. But yesterday, let's see. What did I do? See, now I can't even remember yesterday. I was about to start with what I did this morning. But yesterday, did I even go for my jog? I feel like I did. Yesterday, did my sister leave? What's today? Sunday? My sister left Friday. And then, I don't know. See, it's gone. I won't be able to remember. What time did I wake up yesterday? I think I probably got up. I know I went upstairs around 10:30 or something, and my sister was there. I'm like, oh, you're here. And it's like, yeah. I think she was at the table. And I said, I'm going out for my jog. Okay. And then they were going for a walk to the farmer's market, my dad and my sister. So I figured, all right, I'll leave at the same time as them. So I walked with them a little bit on the route. Actually, I think I started my jog, and then I sort of saw them again, a couple blocks away. And my dad's like, we're walking very slow. You can go ahead. I'm like, okay. So then I went for my jog all the way down a different route, and nice residential area. I eventually came back. I guess I came back 3 hours later. So where did I sit? I sat at Kettleman's charging my phone for a while, and I was sitting beside this young couple, and the guy kept talking about, I don't know, I just want to get action with girls. I don't want to commit. And she was like, would you ever, get a sugar mama? He's like, I don't need a sugar mama. I can get so many girls, whatever. And I was just like, I was thinking in my head, buddy, enjoy it while you can. But I was also going to say, lock it down now. It's not, you don't want to wind up lonely. But I didn't. Minded my own business. And then ran home, got home around 1. I saw my sister was on the couch sort of having a nap, and then had a shower. And then I came back upstairs, and then I was like, you know what, I think I want to go to this pool party. So, so I messaged my friend Goodness, who last year I met her at a beach meetup, and she's gone to she took me to that potluck thing a couple weeks ago. So she's like, yeah, I'll come. So I asked for permission from Julie because it was a comedian's thing, but she's like, yeah, you can bring whoever. And then, she picked me up. Didn't really get there till 3:30. And I went to the bank machine on the way on my jog because we needed to get $5 to pay for the party because she bought snacks. She bought some chips. And yeah, we got there, and it was all comedians, and water was cold, but I eventually got my feet in and then sort of went waist in and was chatting with a guy floating on a big beaver rafty thing. And I talked to Simone, who I've been wanting to interview for a while, and she's 52 and won first place in her comedy night a couple of weeks ago. And I talked to her last year at the contest. And let's see, talked to Goodness for a bit. At the bar, I talked to this woman, Kirsten, and then this guy, Julien, a French comedian, who was talking about how he wants to break into Canadian comedy now, English comedy, but he's really big in Quebec. And I ate some hot dogs on a platter. I ate the chips was nicely arranged on the table. There was each bowl of chips, and then she had left sort of the half bag folded over in front of the bowl, so you knew exactly which ones were which. I liked that. It looked very fancy. And then I sort of walked over and I chatted with, once it was dark. Well, earlier, my phone rang around 9, and I saw it was my sister calling with my niece and nephew, and they're at the cottage place where they're staying for a couple of days. And I couldn't find my charger, so I said I'll call them back, and I called them back. My sister texted me. She's like, well, you can just text us the 10 things you're grateful for. But I called him back, and then we had a nice call. I said I'm at a pool party, and then my niece was like grateful that I was having fun. And so that's a nice nightly thing we do. And then, I went over and I talked to this other woman who's like 2 years younger than me, and we were talking about pop culture and movies and everything. And then some other guy mentioned, so I married an axe murderer. And no, somebody said orange on a toothpick, and then I referenced the movie, and he's like, yeah, so I married an axe murderer. And he's like, when he saw me later, he's like, yeah, or when he was leaving, he's like, let's talk pop culture movies again sometime, because you remember the old-timey movies. And so it's a nice mix of people of all ages. One woman left, and I asked Julie, who was that woman? And she's like, oh, that's, she said her name, whatever it was. And I looked her up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I messaged her last year after I saw her do a comedy show, and we were chatting a bit. I said she was really funny, so it's neat that I'm seeing people again. And it was a good crowd. I found it easier to talk to these people as opposed to, the potluck, where I guess I have more in common with comedians and stuff. So that was kind of fun. And yeah, then I sat beside that other woman, and then she was with the girl who it turns out was the girl who was second place in my comedy night. She mentioned that. I'm like, oh, right, that's her. And I looked up her photo on Instagram, like, oh, yeah, Jackie. And then, I guess eventually they were saying they were leaving, and they were getting a Lyft, like an Uber. And they lived downtown. I'm like, I guess I'll go with you guys, because it was after 10 at this point. And then, so I had a nice ride with them, and Lori was talking about some guy she's dating who's now breaking up with his girlfriend. So I guess it was kind of a, complicated situation. And then the other girl was saying she doesn't date, so I don't know if that means she does have a boyfriend or she doesn't want one. But yeah, I got dropped off at Lori's apartment, and then we all chatted for a bit, and then I walked back, and then I messaged Lori on Facebook, and I said, hey, hope you got up to your floor. And she's like, yeah, just in time to realize I forgot my phone. And in the Facebook group, Julie had posted, whose phone is this? And so I'm like, oh, I guess that's Lori's phone. And she's like, I'm just waiting for my spouse to sober up so we can go drive to get it. And I'm like, spouse? I thought she has I'm confused. I don't know. I said, let me know if you want me to, take a lift with you or drive a car for you or whatever. And that was it. So, and then I messaged Kirsten, and I said, maybe I'm going to come. She said, well, let me know, because, oh no, this other woman earlier she'd said, hey, I met you on Bumble. I'm like, wow, that must have been a long time ago. And then so she on Facebook was saying, well, let me know before we all pass out. So I don't know if they were all staying there or what they were doing. And I was thinking of going back, but then at this point it's like 11. I'm walking down Elgin Street back and forth. I got a Powerade with 25% Powerade Ultra, more electrolytes, which I guess just means more salt, as my dad always says. Salt. Electrolytes, fancy word for salt. And then I got a Perrier, because I read that bubbly water can actually improve your health. I didn't drink the Perrier. It's still at home. And then, so I got home around 11, and all these people are in patios and in bars, and I was like, wow, I was all nostalgic for going to bars. But yeah, now it reminds me that in this podcast I was just listening. Anyways, I'll skip ahead in a minute. I got home, and somehow I went to bed at 1:30. I guess I put on a podcast, and then at 7:45, I just heard bam, bam, bam. My dad's kind of makes a lot of noise when he walks, and so that woke me up. And then I'm like, can I fall back asleep? I don't know. And basically, I sat in bed till like 2:30, just on Instagram, looking for people to interview, and so that's kind of a waste of a day. Finally, just went for my jog now. Stopped and tried the Wild Oats restaurant that I've been meaning to try, because it's very healthy, I think. Got like a beets and goat cheese sandwich and a smoothie. She said she likes the liquid gold, that's her favorite, so I got that. And then what? And then they had day-old sort of cinnamon rolls and cheese sticks, and I thought they were going to be 50% off, but I didn't bother to actually look what day it is, because after one day they're only 50 cents off each. And then the 50% off would have been tomorrow. So basically it was $40 for this whole collection of stuff. But whatever, I guess it's a nice dessert. And now I'm trying to decide whether to take a comedy class tonight, because it's 6 weeks. I don't even know if I'm going to still be in the city. But anyways, that's it for now. And I'll talk to you later.